Hey guys, welcome to Code Decode. In the previous video of Spring Security, we have seen what is oauth2, what is Okta, what is OIDC, how oauth2 works internally, what are scopes, what are grants, what is JWT token, how to decode, encode, what are claims, and many more things. Today in this video, we will be seeing a practical live implementation of implementing this Spring Security in Spring Boot application with Okta. So let's get started. Hey guys, there's a super amazing app called as Next Level, recently launched by Unacademy for you. Next Level is gamified coding competition platform for you to showcase your expertise and skills and get professional ratings. The better is the professional rating, the better is your job opportunities. Yes, this is the application where you will have job opportunities out there for you, waiting for you. This app is now available on iOS as well. The playing time is also increased from 10 AM to 10 PM when you can play with your opponents. Also, they have amazing prizes. For rank 1, they have MacBook Air, rank 2, they have iPad mini, rank 3 for Kindle white paper, and also top 25 people have the certificate of appreciation. These are winners from the last season for both backend and front-end development. They all received Apple and Kindle goodies along with interviews for the awesome companies. There are many coding competitions on the application. All you need to do is participate in these coding competitions. We are also providing the invite code in the description below. Please use that while signing up for the application. Compete with the people, win the coding rounds. The more you win, the better is your rating. The better is your rating, the more is the job opportunities unlocked for you. Yes, they have multiple partners across the multiple domains like in IT services like HCL, TCS, Infosys, SAP Labs, and many more. At Next Level, even the physically disabled candidates can apply for Node.js and Python positions. You can invite your friends and challenge them to coding competitions. February season has already started, so please participate. The best part is the app is completely free and the link to download the same is given in the description below with the code reference. Also, do not forget to refer to your friends. Now, since we are going to use Okta, the very first thing that you need to do is to sign up to Okta or register or login. If you're new to Okta, you have to sign up. I have already created an account in Okta, so I'm going to sign in. There are multiple options that Okta gives you to sign in, say with GitHub, Google, or even the user ID password. I'm going to use my GitHub only. That is code from the Code Decode one. So this is the Code Decode ID that I already have. Let's quickly revise what was Okta all about. Okta was the authorization server for the API that we create. So we create a Spring Boot application. We have REST APIs there. Let me give you a quick example. Here in the controller, we have multiple REST APIs. These REST APIs were completely open and easily accessible, and hence we were able to just hit this particular add employee just by /code/save. It was having no security. I don't want that, right? When this code goes to production, I don't want that this should be this open. I want that these REST API should have some security layer before it. So first the user have to prove that it is authenticated and authorized, and then only that guy is allowed to save any employee in my database by hitting this particular URL. So what should I do? How to secure my application? The answer to that is to implement Okta in your application, where Okta will work as authorization server, and for the UI or any other API, it will give you the access token, and only when you have the access token, you will be able to hit these particular secured APIs. So first you have to create a project in Okta, and then you have to create a project in Spring Boot, which is Okta secured. So let's first create a project here in Okta. Then we will create a backend project which will be using Okta internally to secure your created APIs. Now here you can see the applications drop down. From this application, you need to create an application now. So create an application, and I need to create an app integration because I'm going to create a Spring Boot application and I need to integrate it with Okta. Hence, I need an integration. I do not need an OIDC right now to have a single sign-on. That we will do in the second video of this, second part of this. Currently, I need to interact with my APIs with the access tokens and to have a machine-to-machine authentication and authorization. So with this, I'm going to select next, and here you have to give the name of your application. So suppose I give Code Decode Okta Demo, and I'm going to save this integration name. Now remember one thing, you will see this client ID, client secret here. Save this so that you can use it in your Postman or the UI whenever you want to hit this Okta secured Spring Boot application. Without this client ID secret, you will not be able to hit the token URL, and without the access token, you cannot hit your REST APIs. So remember to just copy this as soon as you get them. My client ID is, my client secret is something that I have copied here now. This is your application name. I'll tell you later how to create a scope. This client ID is the public identifier for the clients that require auth flows. Say for example, I am going to hit this particular REST API with UI or front end with React, Angular, or even with a Postman. You will be needing this public identifier to identify you are the client that requires the auth flows and the tokens. This is the password. Next, you need to go to the security tab, to the API. Remember always to note this down, because this is the authorization server's URL, audience and name for you. By default, it is default. This is created by Okta for you. You can also create your own custom authorization server with your own claims, scopes and many things. But currently I'm using the default one. If you want me to create and customize authorization server with all the customized claims, just let me know in the comment section. I'll do that in the next demo for you. So this is the name of the authorization server. This is the audience. You will see this in claim with AUD when you get a token. I'll tell you how we get the tokens also. And what is the issuer URI? This is the URI which will give you important metadata about the server, including the request for the token by adding /v1/token path to get the access token also. So this is the base URL for multiple things for you in Okta. So remember to have this issuer URL with you. This is very important. This is your domain name, and this is the whole base URL for fetching even the access tokens also. This name is the authorization server name, and this is the audience to identify the recipient that the JWT token is intended for. It basically says it's for all the APIs for this default authentication server. Now we have almost everything that we need to add in your Spring Boot application. So the next thing that you need to do is to create a Spring Boot application with Okta as the dependency. So new Spring Startup project, name it as Okta demo. The description will have the demo project for Spring Boot Okta integration, and the package name I want is com.codedecode.okta demo. Let's click on next. And what we need, a web dependency is what we need. Let's create this application with the bare minimum dependencies that we need to demonstrate a Okta implementation in your project. Next we need Okta starter dependency. So grateful to Spring, starter already has this Okta starter dependency for us. Let's finish and let's wait for this completion. So this is the project that is ready for us, Okta demonstration. In the pom.xml, you can see we have just basic bare minimum dependency that we need. That is a web dependency and Okta Spring Boot starter dependency. This dependency is very important because this is the one who will implement or add all the Spring security classes to your class path. With this implemented, all your APIs will now be secured. That means a watchman will be standing in front of all your controller REST APIs, who will not let anybody pass through the REST API if you do not have the access token. That is the beauty of this Okta Spring Boot starter security dependency that you add in your application. Now if you try to run this, simply run this, it will give you some kind of error logs. Let me try running it for you. If you can see here, it says your Okta issuer URL is missing. You can copy the domain from Okta developer console. So this is the Okta console, which is your Okta console for you as a developer. You can get all this issuer URL. You can go into security tab in the API tab. There you will get this issuer URL. So that's what it is saying. You can copy your Okta issuer URL is missing in the properties file. You can copy the domain from console. Follow this instruction. Now it will actually help you find the Okta domain and get the issuer URL. But the best part that we did is we have kept it with us initially only. Let's copy this and add it to our properties file. This is my application property file. And the property name will be Okta APIs issuer. Now if you can see, I'm getting so many options for Okta here. It is because you have added a dependency in your pom.xml for Okta Starter Spring Boot project. That is why you are getting all such options here now. Here you can see Okta APIs issuer, and this is the place where you have to add your domain specific basic issuer URL. This will point to your Okta here. This is the place where it is going to point. This is your domain. Now we will be starting it again, and this issue that we have seen earlier would have been gone now. So yes, you do not have any exception here now. You are good to go. Whenever you create a controller class, your REST APIs will not be easily available as would have been with this Postman APIs. Like this is how we have just hit the APIs, we get the result. This is not how it is going to be now. It will be behind a watchman who will check your access token, then only will allow you. So let me create a controller for you, Okta demo controller. To make it as controller, I need an annotation, and also I want to give a request mapping for the base URL configuration. To say Okta, a simple get mapping, even you won't be able to pass that get mapping also. That's the beauty of implementing a simple starter, Okta starter in your Spring Boot application. Okta secured get mapping. It is going to return you response entity. Currently, I'm just going to return you a string, simple string, any name. So I'm going to create a new response entity, which is going to return me a string. Congratulations, your access token is valid. Go ahead now. If you are capable enough to get the access token using the credentials like this, client ID and secret and some more configurations, with that access token only you will be able to access this get to. If I would not have used Okta, then you will directly get congratulations. But since now you have used Okta, let's see are we able to get through. Application is started. I'm going to create the URL now. HTTP localhost 8080 Okta secured get API, a simple get API. Say this is the problem. Did you get congratulations? No, you didn't. And rather getting 200 OK, which is the expected HTTP status that you have given 200 OK, you have got 401. The reason that a simple get API you are not able to access, the only reason for that is this culprit that you have added in your class path. This Okta Spring Boot starter is the reason why you are having a watchman standing in front of your Spring Boot application saying sorry, get the access token, then try hitting me. Does not have any kind of authorization, does not have any access token. How can I give any kind of response from this particular secured REST API? I cannot do that, I'm sorry. So now what you need to do is go get the access token, append in the authorization part of it, and then try to get the access. So you need another API to get the access token. You know that your access token can be received from the issuer URLs as a base URL and the token URL attached to it. So your token URL will be your issuer URL /v1/token. That's all. And that URL will be able to give you, with the proper client ID secret, an access token, which is a JWT token, which will be able to give you all the details of the users as a user of this code Decode 25 to be accessed in your application. So let's try get the access token now. So I'm going to create a new request, a simple this is going to be a post request, remember. And since it is on Okta, it is HTTPS and not HTTP. Remember, these are the small mistakes that you will for sure do while trying to get an access token, and you will cry, I'm not getting an access token at all. So remember small things that we are doing here, okay? So /v1/token, this is the URL that you're going to hit to get the access token. But not that easily you are going to get it. You need some authorization here. This will be a basic authentication. And this basic authentication needs username and password. What will be the username? It is a public ID that you need to add here as a client ID. And your password will be nothing but a client secret. That's it. But not just with this you will be able to get it. You also need a body to have X form URL encoded and the key and values for grant type. Grant type, we have already seen what is grant type and scope in the previous video when we were covering the theory. So I'm not going to go into theory again in this video. And since we are using client ID secret that we're going to store at the some secured position, hence the type is client underscore credential. This client underscore credentials will be your grant type and your scope will be something that you have to create. So before hitting this, you need to create some custom scopes. And how will you do that? In this particular API tab, you have all your information about your authorization server. This is the default authorization server. This is the user issuer URL that you are using. Edit this, and for this particular authorization server, you will see your claims, scope, policies and everything. So here in the scopes, you need to add a scope. So this is how you add a scope. Say name it as code decode. This is my custom scope, but I want to use it as default scope now. So I'm going to create this as a default scope and I'll copy this in my scope value here. Now you have your client ID secret here. You have your grant type and scope here. Let's try hitting it. Great. Now what you got is a bearer token and this is your access token. This complete end-to-end is your access token. And the scope here is code decode that you have used here. So in this particular scope, you have got an access token. You can use this particular access token. Let me save it. You can use this particular token here as a bearer token and give this token here without double quotes. Remove all the double quotes. So this is a simple token that you're giving as a bearer token. One more important thing that you should note and not do not initialize this bearer token with another bearer. Do not do that. It will not help you. It will again give you 401. Since it is already a type of bearer token, you do not need to prefix it with bearer. Now try to access it. And cool, you got your congratulations, your access token is valid. Please go ahead. Without this token, let me remove this token for you now. And let's try hitting it again. So it says 401 authorized. So this is how you implement your Okta into your Spring Boot application. The bare minimum thing that you need to do is in your pom.xml, add a Spring Boot starter dependency and it will be enough to add all kind of security watchman in front of all your REST APIs. So here in the controller, even a single get mapping who is not giving you anything, just a simple congratulations, you're not even able to access that also. You're getting 401, you do not have access token. Don't try to hit it without an access token. And hence you were getting 401 unauthorized. Go get the access token, then come back to me. So this is how we have got the token. Using this token URL, this is the access token that we are going to use always. Without the double quotes, remember small things that you do as a mistake. Without double quotes, a simple token, without any bearer, send it and you are good to go. Congratulations, your access token is valid. Now, as promised, I'll also show you the access token that we have got. So this is the jwt.io, which I have also shown in the previous video. Try to decode it here and you will get everything that you have added in your claims. So if you can see here, this is the issuer URL. Isn't this the same that we have used for the token? So token URL is also http dev auth2 default, http dev auth2 default, and the v1/token is a extended URL to get the access token. So this is your issuer URL. Now this is your issuer URL. This odd, I have told you that this audience you will get as a claim in your JWT token. So do you get this odd as a claim in your JWT token? Yes, you get this audience as the JWT token part here. And why do we need it? I'll tell you that also. This audience says for which recipient is it required for. You have no way to find whether this token is created for you. You are the intended recipient. So you can create this audience in your Spring Boot application file like okta.oauth2 audience and give this audience as API default. Now what you can do here is you can create your security configuration file. Create a class, annotate with enable web security, extend the web security configuration adapter, and override the configure method to override which APIs to be passed and which is not to be passed. And you can use this particular property. All those things we can also do in this particular demonstration if you want me to do that. Let go or bypass all the get mappings and only post mappings, put mappings, and delete mapping has to be secured. How to do that in this Okta implementation, let me know in the comment section. In the extension of this demo only, I'll create one more video for you by implementing that particular class and to bypass security for the get mapping. When done that, all your get mappings will not use the access tokens, but all the other update APIs will need the access token, and that is how any kind of APIs are implemented in the real-time projects. In the next demo also, I need to tell you all about the custom claims that you can create, all the custom scopes, how to add custom claims here, like my user ID that can be added here. So all those things also I need to cover. If you want to know about that, let me know in the comment section. I'll create one more video on that. Thank you.